The Illinois Fighting Illini are your 2021-2022 regular season Big Ten basketball champions. They shared the title with the Wisconsin Badgers, but still it will go down that Illinois, throughout this season that came back to as close to normal as we could get from COVID, they battled with Iowa tonight. Being down 15, had to battle back. Late free throw misses by Iowa. Good defense down the stretch from Illinois, making their free throws on their end, led them to hold on to beat Iowa to get to the regular season Big Ten champs. Now they get the first seed in the Big Ten tournament that will be starting next week. They get a couple buys to relax, work on some things. They did it. This has not happened in 17 years since D. Brown, Darren Williams, James Augustine, and that crew, Luther Head, Roger Powell, did it in 2004 to 2005 season. It's been a long time. It's a great day to be an Illini fan. We are going to break down the game. What does it mean to be the regular season Big Ten champs? And then I'm going to talk about regular season champs versus the tournament champs because I had some thoughts with Michigan during the COVID year. So we got to talk about that. So we'll break down this game, talk about what else happened a little bit in the Big Ten, what's going to lead to next week, where Illinois could fall in the NCAA tournament. Can they still win the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis next week? So if you're watching the video version, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're listening to the podcast in audio form, it can be found wherever you listen to your podcast. Please follow it, rate it, be a friend, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Twitter at Coach_Steve72, Facebook page, my Coach Steve Show. Go do that for me real quick, please and thank you. I appreciate everybody that watches or listens. Thank you so much. This podcast brought to you by the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. If you go to bellyupsports.com, check out all the podcasts and blogs there. There's something there for everybody. Even if it's not sports, there is something there for you. Bellyupsports.com. Check out all that stuff. And this podcast is also brought to you by Coach Stone Football and it's back to the basics, books, and drills. We're getting closer to spring ball, summer ball, and the season will be here before we know it. All you high school coaches and some of you college coaches, go to CoachStoneFootball.com and click on back to the basics drill manuals. It has a bunch of books. You will never have to look up another drill again, I promise. Illinois came away with the big time win over Iowa, 74-72 from missed free throws by Iowa. Illinois, after battling back, being down around, I believe, 15 points. Crazy. So this podcast will be all over the place, but this is your Illini post game, like we said. It's exciting times. Illinois has not done this since 2004-2005 season when we had D. Brown, Darren Williams, Luther Head, Roger Powell, James Augustine, and there were so many people on that team. So many great players on that team. Illinois has had some decent teams here and then we've also been very bad. Brad Underwood has gotten this here. We're sharing this with Wisconsin, and a couple things had to happen to get here. I am on record saying Wisconsin was not going to lose to Nebraska, so I gave up on being the regular Big Ten champs because it was something out of our control. The only thing Illinois could control was winning this game. We could not control what happened with Wisconsin. We could not control what happened with Nebraska, and we should have won other games in the year to not be in this position. So I was not worried about it. I was moved on to the Big Ten tournament. That's the one I was focused on. But then Nebraska comes in and beats Wisconsin by 1 point, which is crazy. Nebraska, I guess, has started to pick it up and play a little bit better at the end of the season. Wisconsin was still on their high of winning the regular Big Ten tournament or the regular season Big Ten tournament, even though it wasn't. I mean, I guess it was a fact, but it also wasn't because Illinois could still do something. They were celebrating. I'm a big Cat guy from Pardon My Take, huge fan. He was there celebrating, went to Wisconsin, which is great, fantastic. But they prematurely celebrated. They should have celebrated if they beat Wisconsin. If they beat Nebraska today, they could have celebrated. Illinois would have not had it. But also at the same time, would Illinois have played as hard near the end as we went along to battle back, knowing that we weren't going to win the regular Big Ten? You'd like to think they would have played hard no matter what. But they battled back. It was good game there the first about 10 minutes, and then Iowa was hitting a lot of shots. We were not rebounding again. Illinois, last time I think Illinois out rebounded by 28. And so I don't know what I'm going to talk about the game, and then we'll talk about other things. The game, we went to Kofi a lot, which was good to get him involved. We started to fall in love with the three again, but it was the rebounding. The rebounding started to really catch up with us. And not offensive rebound. We were getting offensive rebounds left to right. We just weren't finishing layups. We were underneath the basket. We wouldn't finish. We get in and we kick it out instead of trying to go up and score. And it's the same song, different dance. But it was the defensive rebounding. We gave Iowa a lot of second chances, especially at the beginning. And near the end of the first half, it started to happen. And then going into the second half, it started to happen. We ended up out rebounding them 42-38. But Iowa got 11 offensive rebounds. So it's just the time. And then sometimes, they don't count as rebounds when they're getting slapped around. I'm going, well, you're slapping around instead of grabbing it. That allows them to get another basket. So those things hurt us. Again, I think sometimes we look to Kofi and say, okay, Kofi, you're going to get the rebound. Or Hawkins, you're going to get the rebound instead of boxing out. And it was never, sometimes it was the guy underneath the basket. One of the worst offensive rebounds you can give up is your guy on the three-point line, especially if it's your guy that shot the ball. Like, that's the worst because, the big guys down low battle, but get in front of the guy, it's not that hard. And so, here's the thing. I hate Iowa basketball. I respect Iowa football. I have no problem with Iowa football. I do not like Iowa basketball. I do not like their coach. I do not like how they act. I just don't. But they played very tough. Iowa had one of the least, not a tough schedule. They came out tough this year, and their schedule was not good. And then they got into the Big Ten, started to lose. They're 22-9. They're 12-8 at the conference. Not too bad. I believe they're the 5th seed in the Big Ten tournament now. But I hate Iowa basketball. And I don't think Brad Underwood likes them either. I don't think he likes their coach. They play tough. Iowa played extremely tough. They hit some tough shots. They were hitting threes. There's not much where you can ask if you're coaching Iowa. You're hitting tough shots. You were getting rebounds. Kofi was getting his, but at the beginning there, Kofi was missing layups. He was getting the rebound. He got about 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in a row because he was just slapping it back and forth to himself. But he, was missing and some shots. So you have to have some confidence. You're hitting threes, have some confidence. You're boxing out and all that stuff. But Illinois is not going to move on in the Big Ten tournament, let alone the NCAA tournament, if we're giving up early offensive rebounds like that. Because when we start playing really, really, really good teams in the NCAA tournament, if we want to make a Final Four run, they are going to make those layups. They are going to do those things. And that's just, it's an Illinois thing. And they've been doing it all year. If we want to look at points for them, Murray had 22, hit some good shots. He was 2 of 7 for 3, but he was 7-22, took a lot of shots, but he got 22 points. Perkins had 17 points, and off their bench, the other Murray, the brother, had 13 points. They got some good points off their bench. So, Iowa played pretty tough. So there's not much if you're Iowa, you're just a little frustrated because you did give up a 15-point lead at one. They got up on Illinois, and I'm sitting there like, this is it. This is going to be Rutgers all over again. It's going to be kind of like Ohio State. Can we battle back? We were just down. At halftime, it's, we were down right before half. It's 43-31. And then it's just, Iowa doesn't score again. Iowa got to 43 points at the 3:12 mark. They don't score again. We go on a little bit of a run, and it's 37-43. And then we had the momentum going back into the second half. And then Iowa gets some momentum. And then it's just battle back and forth. And so, Iowa was up big at times, hitting shots at times, but Illinois battled back. Illinois, Sometimes maybe I'm too negative on Illinois. Sometimes, but you got, truth hurts. Illinois battled. They never gave up. And that's where my question is, would they have battled like that if they weren't going to have a chance to win the regular season Big Ten? I want to say yes, but I also think it gave them a little more juice of like a little more urgency. Brad Underwood was fired up. Again, I think he hates Iowa basketball. I really do. But, kudos to Iowa. They did play very tough. Their players were playing tough. I wanted to look at Iowa's, schedule. I mean, I just wanted to talk about, we played them earlier in the year and we won 87-83 and we won by the rebound out, but their schedule's not anything. Longwood, Kansas City, NC Central, Alabama State, Western Michigan, Portland State, and then Virginia. And then they lost then Purdue, Illinois, Iowa State, Utah State. So they did not have a top of the line schedule. But the Big Ten is a meat grinder. They did beat Michigan this year. They have, they only lost to Purdue by 7 at one point earlier on in the year. So, yeah, I mean, they're not a bad team. They were obviously better last year, but this year, a lot better. Or they started to play better near the end there. But so Illinois showed some heart, showed some guts when they got down big. There was no panic. There was no they just kind of wrote it out. Now, there were some dumb shots being made. There was uncharacteristic turnovers. You turned the ball over about 3 times underneath the basket. The one near the end, Corbello tried to throw it up to the guy posting up and threw it right to the guy. So those type of things, trying to dribble through guys too much. Corbello made some dumb turnovers. There was some we tried to throw it to Kofi and we throw it over their head or something like that. We did not, we just uncharacteristic things or things that tend to happen. You're down by a lot, you're trying to do too much. We do that when we try to put teams away, but then we had to battle back. But the positive of battling back is it shows how tough we can be in those type of situations. So, voila, going into the Big Ten tournament, going into the NCAA tournament, if we get down, it shows that we can battle back. It shows that we have the heart and the guts and then, the nitty gritty stuff to play defense, take a charge, force a turnover, come down, be confident that one of the guys are going to hit a shot, be confident that, we're going to hit free throws, be confident in all that type of stuff. And that's what Illinois did. Corbello took a lot of shots, missed some shots. Plummer forced some shots, just those type of things, but they're shooters. Corbello's still trying to get his sea legs under him is what I call him, because he is still somewhat out of shape, but not out of shape. I wouldn't say that like he's going to run up and down the court with anybody. I'm talking about like just basketball shape of reading everything, had a couple good passes, just inconsistent. If he would have played all year, never would have been hurt, never would have missed all the games, I think it'd be fine. Trent Frazier stepped up big on defense, forced that one turnover at the end. Hawkins has played really, giving good minutes. Kofi is Kofi. Plummer, giving you 15 points, was very balanced the first and second half. We started to figure out the rebounding near the second half, because near the part of that first half when Iowa was getting up, we just weren't defensive rebounding. And it kind of started a little bit in the second half, then we really clamped down and everything. So just played well as a team. Loved seeing the fight to finish it, and that's what you want to see going into this. Right now, Illinois will be the number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. They can sit. They're going to watch from afar. They'll be in the Final Four of the Big Ten tournament, which is starting next week. And then next Sunday will be Selection Sunday. We'll be on here talking about that. But your Illinois Fighting Illini are, Big Ten regular season champs with Wisconsin. And so real quick, wanted to bring this up. Might do a whole other podcast on this. I said some things last year when Michigan won the regular season Big Ten, and I said, along the lines of, well, it was after Illinois won the Big Ten tournament, and I said, well, at least we won the real Big Ten tournament. Now I just say that just to the positive Michigan fans, and because I don't even know if we should have had a regular season Big Ten champ last year with COVID, because in a normal time when you're playing about 20 conference games, they have to mean something. And when Michigan had the quote unquote better percentage for the regular season last year, that's because they didn't play as many games because of COVID. They got canceled. So then not the excuse, but the reasoning, I guess, if you want to call it the reason, was, well, COVID, you can't have, and that's why we shouldn't have had it. And that's where I was coming out of it. Obviously, I think the regular Big Ten means something because I put a poll out there, like, should they get rid of the regular season conference champions? Should they get rid of the tournament? Because it's you win the regular season one and it means something, but then you actually get like this hardware in the tournament. And it just comes back to what I said about Michigan, because Illinois won the actual one last year and the COVID year. So does that mean more than the regular season? But it was the COVID thing where Michigan had the better percentage, but when you looked at it, Illinois had a better one because they played their games. So I want to do maybe a whole podcast topic on this, but to kind of talk about it, people already posted out there how Illinois was like storming the court and everything. And, I get it, because the regular one, we still got the Big Ten tournament. That's why my question is, if we're going to do regular season Big Ten champs, should we even do a tournament one? You'll have two different ones. If Illinois and Wisconsin share it on this one, and then somebody else wins, so let's say Illinois wins the regular season and then Purdue wins the tournament. Well, now you've got two Big Ten champs, so that's what I'm getting at. I put it out there on a poll, and I don't really know the answer. I'll do a whole nother one when I think about it more. But I put a whole poll out there and a thought. Coach Matt out there, we've got into it a couple times, but we actually had a decent understanding. He and Logan, who's been on here a couple of times, said, Logan said, would you rather want to have the best season over 20 games and win that way, or have the best record out of playing 2 or 3 games in the tournament, where a team could just get hot, or whatever the case might be, where you've played better over span of 20 games. If a team's hot going, let's just say Rutgers, and then because Rutgers, I believe, is the 4 seed, so they just got hot. They don't have the best overall season, but so that type of stuff. And Matt said the same thing. He said he values the 20-game regular season over a 4-day tournament. But then he brought up a good point. If you're a team that has injuries, that's hindered your team, you still have a shot to get in. And you talk about bids and all that. So we had an understanding of it. You should value the 20-game season. And so you give them that. But so that's why my question is, should we even do it? And I've thought about that with football, college football, because you have like, a quote unquote, they don't really do it, but they talk about, they have the best season in their conference. Should they be that? That's what I think, like USC Pac-12 used to do. And then now they have one, because it used to be that way. It used to be regular season, Big Ten football, or conference champ. And then they did their conference championship game, which for football, a little different, I guess, because it's 2 teams. But in basketball, should they get rid of one or the other? Should it just be, the Big Ten tournament, but then you're playing or should it just be the regular season Big Ten? Like, should they not even have a tournament and then you go into the other tournaments? Right now, like Illinois and Wisconsin would be your Big Ten champs because of you look at your body of work over the 20-some conference and all that. So I don't know. I just wanted to address that real quick, because out of the 5 people that listen, somebody that's a Michigan fan will maybe remember what me, Coach West, and Brad said last year of, does it really matter, and who's the real Big Ten champ? So that's just trash talk. It obviously means something in a normal world where you play all your games. Last year, when Michigan doesn't play all their games, like I said, I just think, now it's Kevin Warren's fault. Kevin Warren's the worst commissioner in the Power 5. I think they should not have done a regular season conference championship or a champion last year. And not because Michigan won it. I just think because when overall with COVID canceling games, like, you're risking it. I just don't think they should have done it. So they should have just said, just for the fact of maybe we don't know what's going to happen, not have it at all. I think that would have been the most fair thing. And then just 2020, 2021, would have just been a wash. Would have just been, okay, now you do your tournament. you know what I mean? That would have been a chance to say, okay, we're just going to do a tournament. And then this year go back to normal of that. But anyway, Illinois, first time in 17 seasons since 2000, I believe it's 17, since 2004, 2005, their regular season. So now looking forward in the Big Ten tournament, they are going to have a couple days they're going to sit out. They get rest because these guys play a lot of minutes. Allows them to rest, allows them to watch from afar to kind of see who they might play. So pretty exciting for Illinois. Exciting to be an Illini fan. We've wanted this. Brad Underwood has said this is what he was going to do. Hopefully, we keep turning a corner, and this is just turning another corner. Again, things had to happen. Purdue had to lose some games because Purdue looked like the clear runner for the regular season. Wisconsin kind of didn't come out of nowhere, but they weren't up there talked about with Illinois and Purdue and Michigan. And Michigan might be, they end up being Ohio State today. Apparently, they're going to be one of the last four in. Good for them, I guess. They deserve it. Okay. I hate Iowa basketball more, so I'm going to marinate on the Iowa win because I hate Iowa. But Michigan's played better. I will say that. I think Michigan's almost played tougher without Juwan Howard. So if we're one of the last four in, it's good for the Big Ten. Feel bad for Indiana. Might be one of the next four out. I don't know if the Big Ten tournament will save them. They've improved since last year. So I was kind of hoping to get Indiana in because, again, you want all the Big Ten teams in, regardless if you hate them or not. So I'm not rooting for Michigan to get in like people aren't rooting for Illinois to do anything. But, they get in great. But it was nice to see, going back to Illinois, it was nice to see Corbello play a little more. I believe he was just doing that because he's got to leave it all out there. He made some mistakes. He shot the ball a lot. We're going to see what he ended with here on points. Corbello ended with 14, so that was great. He was 4-12, took a lot of shots. He's going to get his if he's healthy and that jump shot gets better next year, he is going to be one of the most dangerous point guards in college basketball. To get 14 points off the bench is huge. Melendez he only got 3 points, but it was a big shot, not bad on defense. I think he took one of the charges. Payne came in with some minutes. But Frazier had to do his thing. Plummer gave you a lower balance. He was 5 of 11 with the 15 points. Then Kofi does his thing. He got you 14 rebounds, 21 points. Hawkins gave you really, really good minutes. He was 2 for 2 on free throws. He got you 10 defensive rebounds, 11 rebounds overall, and 9 points. So, they did what they had to do. And you never want to see them get down. But to get down that many points, to battle back, to win is what you want to see going into the Big Ten tournament, then to the NCAA tournament. Because like last year, we got down to Loyola. We just didn't do that. Now, there's times Illinois has gotten down this year and not bounced back, but this is what you want to see at the end. Going in at the end against Iowa, who Illinois and Iowa do not like each other. Basketball's it's slowly, I think, turning, and if it's not already, into a rivalry, because I don't like them. I hate them more than Michigan basketball. I do not like Iowa basketball. So, Illinois, regular season Big Ten champs. You love to see it. Who cares if they storm the court, because we haven't seen this in 17 seasons. It's been a long time. There's times Illinois is a quote-unquote basketball school, so you want to see it. The regular season does matter, regardless of what I said about Michigan. But at the end of the day, we still want to go win the Big Ten tournament too. So we can't put it past that. Yes, it's cool to say regular season Big Ten, enjoy it tonight, and then by 6 a.m. tomorrow, 7 a.m. tomorrow, we're waking up going to work. It's onward to the Big Ten tournament. I'm sure that's what Brad Underwood would do. I'm sure he's going to party tonight, and then tomorrow back to work. But Brad Underwood is doing this, and it's consistent. Each year we've gotten better. The COVID year, right when COVID first happened, we were hot, about to win the Big Ten tournament, get into the NCAA tournament for the first time in a while. Then it happened, and then we had to do it last year and do what we did last year. And then this year we've been up and down, but we're figuring it out. He's recruited well. So thank you, Brad Underwood, for coaching Illini, being about Illinois, being about everything, getting along with the football team, baseball team, everything else, bringing it together. Thank you, Coach Underwood. Continue it. Let's keep fighting. Let's go win the Big Ten tournament. Illinois, I think, is going to be a 3 or 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is still pretty good. I believe they're going to be in the East. Exciting. So they're going to get some time off. They're going to enjoy it. It's fun. It's been a fun time to be an Illinois basketball fan. So We're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Please like and subscribe. Follow it, rate it, be a friend, tell a friend, comment in the comment section down below. Check out all the other episodes. Try to get your weekly episodes again. Coaching baseball. If you have to, it's whatever. Coaching baseball. And we're going to enjoy the Big Ten tournament next week. And then we're going to enjoy some Selection Sunday, talk about the brackets, who we think we're going to win, all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Check out all the affiliates, of course, in the description below. Thank you guys so much. This is Coach Steve, another episode of the Coach Steve Show podcast, ILL.